Right now, someone less skilled than you is getting everything you want. Not because they're better, but because they act like they are. They move without hesitation. They speak like they expect to be listened to. They make decisions fast, even when they're wrong, and people follow them. Meanwhile, you hesitate. You second-guess yourself. You wait for the perfect timing, the perfect plan, the perfect feeling. But while you wait, someone bolder takes your place. This is how the world really works. It doesn't reward the smartest. It rewards the most certain. Confidence isn't luck. It's control. And Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He saw that power always follows certainty, not morality. The one who looks sure wins. The one who looks unsure serves. That's why dangerous confidence is so rare. It's not built on motivation or fake affirmations. It's built on the ability to act with absolute conviction, even when doubt screams in your mind. Most people never get there. They confuse confidence with arrogance. They try to appear confident while still asking for permission. But the truly confident don't ask. They move, they decide, they lead, and people can feel it. You've been trained to think confidence is something you earn. It's not. It's something you claim. The moment you stop waiting for proof, you become powerful. Because dangerous confidence isn't about believing you can't fail. It's about knowing you can handle it when you do. This video isn't about being positive or pretending to be strong. It's about becoming untouchable. Stay until the end. Because what you'll learn next will make you see confidence the way Machiavelli did. As the most dangerous form of power. From the moment you were born, you were trained to obey. Every reward, every punishment, every lesson you learned in school was designed to create one thing: compliance. You were told to be polite, to wait your turn, and to ask for permission. You were told that confidence is dangerous, that people who speak with certainty are arrogant, that power corrupts. So you learned to play small, to lower your voice, to ask instead of decide. You learned to hesitate and call it humility. But here's what no one told you. Humility was never your virtue. It was your leash. The system doesn't want confident people. Confident people can't be controlled. They question rules. They move faster than approval. They don't need permission to act. So society taught you to fear that part of yourself. They replaced instinct with guilt. They told you to doubt your decisions, to apologize for wanting more, to second-guess your ideas until you stopped acting altogether. That's how power is maintained, not by force, but by self-censorship. They don't have to silence you if you silence yourself. Look at the world today. The bold speak, and the quiet watch. The confident lead, and the hesitant follow. It's not intelligence that separates them. It's certainty. And that's what Machiavelli understood better than anyone. He wrote that power belongs to those who dare, not those who are ready, not those who are perfect, those who dare. Confidence is daring when logic says wait. It's moving forward when fear tells you to stop. You've spent your whole life asking for permission to be powerful, but no one will ever give it to you, because power that's given isn't power. It's a privilege, and privilege can be taken away. Real confidence can't. It's dangerous because it doesn't depend on approval. That's what makes it untouchable. If this message resonates with you, subscribe and stay. It helps this reflection reach the people who need it most. Thank you for being here. Confidence is not what you think it is. It's not a feeling. It's not motivation. It's not positive thinking. It's control. The ability to stay composed when everything inside you wants to collapse. Most people mistake confidence for noise, talking louder, walking faster, acting certain. But that's performance, not power. Real confidence is invisible until it's tested. It's what stays when comfort leaves. That's the psychology of command, certainty under pressure. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He saw that people don't follow kindness, intelligence, or morality. They follow certainty, because certainty creates safety. When someone acts without hesitation, others assume they know what they're doing. That's how power works. It doesn't come from being right. It comes from looking unshakable while everyone else hesitates. That's why the confident lead and the unsure obey. The psychology behind this is simple. Humans crave stability. We follow whoever appears to have it. That means your confidence isn't about how you feel inside. It's about what your energy communicates when doubt hits. You can feel fear and still act calm. You can question yourself and still move like you don't. That's dangerous confidence, not the absence of fear, but the command over it. The loud pretend to be fearless. The powerful have mastered fear. They've learned how to use it as fuel instead of proof of weakness. That's what Machiavelli called strategic control, the art of appearing certain while calculating in silence. Because once you can command your reactions, no one can control you. That's where real power begins. Confidence isn't about convincing others you're capable. It's about convincing your own mind that you're unbreakable, and once you believe that, the world does too. If you stay for the next part, you'll understand why confidence isn't a reaction. It's the law of power. You felt it before. The pressure to shrink so others feel safe. The subtle guilt that whispers, don't stand too tall. Don't speak too clearly. Don't make them uncomfortable. That's not humility. That's programming. Every person carries two voices, the ruler and the servant. The ruler acts, decides, and moves. The servant waits, doubts, obeys. For most people, the servant wins. Not because he's stronger, but because he's louder. He speaks with a voice of fear. Don't say that. Don't do that. They'll judge you. They'll leave. And you listen because his words sound reasonable. He wears the mask of safety. But Machiavelli warned that the desire to be safe is the quickest path to slavery. Every time you choose comfort over courage, the servant grows stronger. You surrender a little more of your authority. You silence your instincts. You start asking for permission to exist. That's how confidence dies, not in one moment, but in thousands of small hesitations. Until one day, you realize you've become predictable. You think before you speak, not out of wisdom, but out of fear. You calculate every reaction. You edit your personality to fit expectations. You call it diplomacy. It's a submission. You think you're being strategic, but you're being controlled. Because the mind trained to seek approval will always serve those who don't. That's how power structures survive, through voluntary obedience. Machiavelli called it the invisible leash. The greatest rulers don't need chains. They just teach you to fear your own strength. But here's the truth. Confidence can't coexist with obedience. You can't serve and command at the same time. You have to choose who you'll be loyal to, your fear or your potential. Fear will demand your silence. Potential will demand your risk. Only one can rule. And if you stay until the end, you'll understand something most people never will. That fear doesn't disappear when you face it. It disappears when you stop obeying it. Breaking the inner servant begins with silence. When fear tells you to wait, move. When doubt says they'll hate you, speak anyway. When your body shakes, act through it. That's how confidence is built, not through success, but through demand. Every time you act against fear, you reclaim territory inside yourself. Confidence isn't found, it's conquered. The more you obey yourself, the less you need the world's approval. And that's what makes you dangerous. You become ungovernable. People can't manipulate what no longer seeks validation. They can't guilt you into silence. They can't shame you into obedience. That's the moment you stop being manageable and start being magnetic. Inside you, there's a throne no one has ever sat on. It's made of everything you've suppressed. Your anger, your clarity, your hunger, your truth. You were born to rule from it, but somewhere along the way, you locked it. Maybe the first time someone told you to be quiet. Maybe when you were punished for being bold. Maybe when love was only given in exchange for obedience. So you built a wall around it. Called it humility, kindness, maturity. But that was never humility. That was fear, dressed like virtue. And every year, the dust settled thicker. The longer you stayed away from that throne, the easier it became to forget it existed. You built a life outside your own authority. You waited for others to crown you, a boss, a lover, a crowd. But crowns given by others can always be taken away. Machiavelli knew this. He wrote that the ruler who waits for approval will always kneel to the one who acts without it. The throne is not a reward. It's a decision. You don't earn it. You sit on it. You reclaim it every time you act without apology. Every time you speak without seeking permission. Every time you trust your judgment more than their opinion. The throne doesn't need noise. It doesn't need recognition. It just needs presence. Confidence isn't the feeling of sitting on it. It's the refusal to leave it when you're challenged. Because the world will try to unseat you. Doubt will disguise itself as logic. People will project their fear onto you. They'll call you arrogant, cold, delusional, anything to make you step down. Don't. Because the moment you leave that throne, someone else will sit on it, and they'll use your uncertainty to rule you. Sit back down, breathe, let the silence feel heavy. That silence, that stillness, is what real confidence sounds like. The easiest way to see how much power you've lost is to watch how you behave around others. Do you wait for their tone before you speak? Do you soften your words so they don't think you're too much? Do you smile when you don't feel like it, just to keep the peace? Those small adjustments seem harmless, but they reveal everything. They show how often you trade truth for approval. Every time you do, you reinforce the habit of obedience. That's what Machiavelli meant when he said that most people choose comfort over command. You're not weak, you're conditioned. You've learned that social harmony matters more than self-respect. But what you call politeness, the world reads as submission. The confident don't adapt to rooms. Rooms adapt to them. They don't lower their voice to fit the atmosphere. They control it by existing fully. You've been told that this is arrogance. It's not. It's psychological gravity, the invisible pull that comes from someone who doesn't flinch. Look around. The people you respect most aren't the loudest. They're the ones who never rush to prove anything, because confidence doesn't beg. It decides. That's why others orbit them. Not because they demand it, but because they project stability. People feel safe around those who are sure of themselves. They feel anxious around those who doubt. That's the mirror of power. People will always reflect how certain you are. If you act uncertain, they will treat you as replaceable. If you stand grounded, they will treat you as essential. The world mirrors your level of self-command. So watch yourself today. Notice the moments you shrink, the times you over-explain, and the situations where you hide your strength to make others comfortable. Those are the cracks where your authority leaks. And if you don't seal them, the world will keep taking what you give away. Here's the truth most people never realize. The moment you try to defend your confidence, you've already lost it. The need to prove strength is the first symptom of weakness. Machiavelli understood that real power doesn't react, it defines. Because the one who defines the situation controls it. The one who reacts to it serves. Think about how you move through your day. How often do you explain your choices? How often do you justify your silence? Every explanation is a quiet surrender. You're teaching the world that your confidence needs permission to stand. But the truly confident never explain. They decide, then let time prove them right. Authority is composure, not noise. When you're certain, you don't convince, you set the tone. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to appear decisive than to be agreeable. Decisiveness creates gravity. It forces the world to organize around you. That's the reversal most people never understand. Confidence isn't about adapting. It's about defining the atmosphere you walk into. Weak people mirror energy. Powerful people set it. You see this every day. In meetings, the one who speaks first often controls the tone. In conflict, the one who stays calm controls the outcome. That's not arrogance. That's strategic stillness. The art of unshakable presence. It's dangerous because it rewrites the hierarchy. People start adjusting themselves around you. Their tone softens, their pace changes, their behavior recalibrates. Not because you demanded it, but because your certainty made them question theirs. The psychology behind this is ancient. Humans instinctively defer to composure. We read calmly as a control. The more you hold your center, the more others lose theirs. That's why those who are easily provoked never lead. They're controlled by what moves them. The confident don't fight noise with noise. They let silence do the work. And if you stay until the end, you'll understand the final Machiavellian truth. Confidence isn't something you use in moments of power. It's the power that creates the moment. Stop explaining. Stop defending. Every time you speak just to be understood, you lower your rank. Confidence doesn't need to be understood. It needs to be felt. From now on, when you walk into a room, decide the temperature. When you speak, define the tone. When you act, set the rhythm. Because the one who defines leads. You don't become confident by waiting to feel ready. You become confident by acting like the room already belongs to you. Machiavelli said, "Fortune favors the bold." But boldness isn't loud. It's disciplined. 3 simple practices will train your presence until it becomes command. First, speak last. Let others reveal their uncertainty before you reveal your stance. Power isn't in talking. It's in withholding. The one who listens first always knows more. Second, move slowly. The insecure rush to prove. The confident move with precision. Stillness signals control. When you slow your gestures, your presence expands. People listen longer. Third, say less. The fewer words you use, the heavier they land. Don't explain. Don't soften. Don't fill the silence. Silence is the posture of the powerful. Train these 3, and confidence stops being something you feel. It becomes something you radiate. People will notice the difference before you do, and they'll treat you differently, not because you changed who you are, but because you stopped chasing approval. When you finally become confident, the world doesn't applaud. It resists. You'll notice it first in their eyes. People will start pulling away, not because you've changed, but because you've stopped shrinking. They'll sense your composure as a threat, your calm as arrogance, your silence as judgment. That's the hidden tax of power. Clarity isolates. Most people survive by blending in. When you stop doing that, you become the mirror they can't stand to look at. Your self-assurance reminds them of everything they've abandoned, their own will, their own edge, their own hunger. That's why they whisper. That's why they doubt you. Confidence doesn't attract everyone. It filters. It separates those who are drawn to light from those who fear it. But that's the paradox of power. The more certain you are, the fewer people you'll need. The noise fades. The crowd shrinks. And what remains is silence. Heavy, but honest. Machiavelli said, "It's better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." He didn't mean cruelty. He meant conviction. People don't follow the kind. They follow the consistent. When you no longer depend on their love, you earn their respect. And respect lasts longer. Confidence will cost you comfort, but it will buy you clarity. You'll start to see who's real. You'll stop chasing the validation that used to drain you. You'll realize that peace isn't found in being liked. It's found in being untouchable. And if you stay until the end, you'll understand this truth. Dangerous confidence isn't about being louder than others. It's about being so silent inside that nothing outside can shake you. Imagine this. The room is quiet now. The noise, the doubts, the opinions, all gone. What remains is you, breathing in the silence you used to fear. That silence is not emptiness. It's power, contained, measured, awake. For the first time, you're not waiting for validation. You're not asking for permission. You're not rehearsing what to say next. You simply exist, fully, deliberately. That's what dangerous confidence feels like. It's not loud. It's not showy. It's sovereign. Machiavelli believed that true strength is not in conquest, but in composure. When you master composure, you master timing. When you master timing, you master outcome. The unbroken circle of power is this. Stillness breeds clarity. Clarity breeds certainty. And certainty breeds command. And once you've tasted that command, you never go back to needing permission again. Tonight, if you sit in silence long enough, you'll feel it. That quiet pulse inside your chest that doesn't beg, doesn't rush, doesn't explain. It simply waits. It knows. That's not your heartbeat. That's your throne remembering you. Thank you for being here, for daring to walk through this silence with me. Stay aware. Stay unshaken. Somewhere beyond this calm, another gate waits.